Hi, my name is Sarah Gotzian, and I will be attending Biola next year. Let me start by telling you all a familiar story. On the night before Jesus was crucified, as the sun was sinking below the horizon, the disciples had gathered for one last meal together. And as was customary, their filthy feet needed to be washed. This was usually the job of the lowest servant, for after a day of long hard work and walking on dusty streets with thin sandals, their feet were black as night. But instead of calling over the servant to perform this unwanted task, Jesus humbled himself and used his own garments to wash the disciples' feet. They stood astonished at what was happening and were reluctant to let their Lord use his own garments to perform the task of a servant. Yet one by one, Jesus washed each of the disciples' feet, getting his own garments filthy with their dirt. By setting aside all customs and pride, Jesus gave the disciples a stirring example of what it means to serve others. Now, if someone has ever blessed you by washing your feet, you understand the humility that it takes for the person to wash your feet, as well as for you to accept it. If you haven't had the opportunity, imagine Mr. Gore getting out some soap, warm water, and a towel at the beginning of class to wash your feet. At first, you might be confused why Mr. Gore is washing your feet in class. But you will soon realize what he is conveying by getting on his knees, as Jesus once did, to wash your feet. And you will understand the humility that it takes on both sides. Jesus concluded washing the disciples' feet by exhorting them to follow in his footsteps and to wash each other's feet. Jesus urged his disciples to humble themselves and to serve one another. So how do we tie in washing each other's feet and serving one another at school? It would be great if we had a spa elective and were able to actively pursue Christ's actions, complete with peppermint foot spray, a bubbling foot tub, and scented candles. But what did Jesus mean by telling his disciples to wash each other's feet? Jesus commanded his followers to serve one another in significant ways. 1 Peter 5:5 says, "Serve each other in humility, for God opposes the proud, but favors the humble." While at school, we have many opportunities to be proud. Grades, praise from parents or teachers, success at sports or music, the list goes on. But we must intentionally seek the opportunities to serve each other in humility. Serving each other in school takes initiative and extra effort. It can be inconvenient, and like Jesus' clothes were covered with dirt, it usually costs us something on our part. Even though it is not always easy, setting aside your own self-interest for someone else brings much joy. I already have seen one example spread throughout the school, making treats for other classes as encouragement. I remember when I was in 7th grade, Anna Demert made mouth-watering cinnamon rolls for our class during finals week. This was a huge blessing to me, understanding that someone as amazing as a senior was thinking about and serving us 7th graders. When we were juniors in high school, Catherine Reuting remembered the impact that this had on us and organized our class to make delicious treats of encouragement for the other classes. The food, along with a scripture of encouragement, was one of Catherine's ways she served others. Serving one another does not have to be as extensive as making cookies. It can be as simple as grabbing an extra chair in the lunchroom for the friend sitting next to you, helping someone with that one tough math problem, no matter how many hours of homework you have ahead of you, or letting someone know that you are praying for them and actually following through. I would love to walk through the halls in a couple years and see people on their hands and knees serving one another. I encourage each one of you to think of one way that you would like to serve someone in this school, and then write it down so that in the years to come, you may all be a reflection of Christ, dirty clothes and all, washing the disciples' feet. Thank you.